Now, huge spoiler warnings for people that have not seen this movie, and yes, I am aware that it is only available in cinema right now, and do not ask me how I have obtained this footage.
Big Phil!
Bro, what even is that? You know what? To make it easier, we're just finna call them dreadheads, okay? Dreadheads are prey to none, friend to none, but predator to all.
Nuke the whole generation.
Now, as a dreadhead myself, that's not crazy. It's not crazy to say that. And we see one of them heading straight towards this cave, and when he pulls out his weapon, it's looking really familiar. And he starts to walk in, and I am actually shocked at the fact that this thing is speaking cohesive sentences. Talking about some "I sent you, brother." What? Now, I am not tapped in with the Predator universe. I've only watched a few movies in my life, and I do not know the plot, so please forgive me. But he senses his brother hiding behind his cloak, even turning around trying to stab him, but he blocks it right in the nick of time, looking him dead in the eyes and asking him, "Is it time to earn yours yet?" And he is referring to the cloak, of course. Pushing him back, and they really started to squabble. And even while they're exchanging blows, this man would mid-fight still mentor his little brother on what to do, telling him to use the environment to his advantage and telling him not to fight like father because you are not father, you are deck. Can I get a yes sir? This man spitting some amazing brotherly love. I love to see it. But even with that said, they still going crazy fighting each other, pinning him against this rock and asking him, "Do you yield?" And my boy, standing 10 toes down, said never. Now, my first time seeing this scene, I could have sworn they were training. I really thought my boy just died then, but hey, he alive.
I am still alive, brother. Still so much to prove, to show who you are. I'm a dread. Not yet.
And we cut over to them in the ship talking, and the brother is telling him that he has to choose his prey in order to become one of the clan. And he has to bring it home or never come back. And even with him being told all that information, for some odd, bizarre reason, this man chooses the most dangerous creature he could ever choose in his life. Even his father is scared of it. And the creature I am referring to is called the callisk. Or in his brother's words, the unkillable callisk. Nigga. My brother in Christ, you did not have to choose that thing, bro. As much as I ride with you, dog, you do not have it in you. Even his brother is telling him if he fails, he dies. That's it. But he makes his vow, and obviously the brother cannot go against it, unfortunately. But while they were talking, the father arrives, and he steps out with these white, luscious locks. Like, okay, big bro.
Shaboing boing, get the dick out your mouth.
Goes up to the big brother and asks him why that little nigga is not dead yet, because he is the weakest out of the clan. But even with that said, big bro still believes that he should have a fighting chance and hunt his prey. But this man ain't listening to none of that and cuffs this man up, having him on his knees, and tells the brother to chop that man's head off. And he goes up, pulls up his weapon, looks his father dead in the eyes and said, "Gotcha, nigga." Cuts him free, pulling him right into the ship while he faces his father. And while they were fighting, this man goes full camouflage on him, really playing hide and seek mid-fight. Nigga, come outside, ho! And using that to his advantage, he even manages to cut this man's arm clean off. Got my man decking the ship, screaming for dear life. Got my man on the ground, crawling, choosing between his weapon or the controls on his other arm to send his brother away, and it was an obvious choice. But the father really said, I'm not finished, stabbing this man right through his chest. But while he was on his knees, he manages to activate the launching sequence, and this man grabs the back of his dome. And with his last words, he tells his brother to bring it home, getting his head chopped off. But he really went out like a real nigga. He really protected his brother, stood 10 toes down against his own father. Certified real nigga in my book, you can't tell me anything else. But fast forward some time and my boy finally arrives to the planet, but his ship starts to crack open, so he hits the ejecto seat on him and manages to land on the ground. And after locking in and getting his head into the game, he prepares his weapons, laying them out. And while he was doing that, the camera pans over to this little thing getting attacked, and my man turning around and starts walking towards that direction. But the same thing that attacked that little thing is literally stealing his weapons. And this thing grabs his weapon, pulling it right out of his hands, and he yells at it. I don't know what you thought that was gonna do, my boy. Did all that yelling just to end up eating dirt. Like, bro, I swear if you don't get up. But he manages to get up, runs right towards his sword, grabbing it, and started to chomp a bunch of them up, but starts planning his escape. Because while he was holding this one back, another one tries to sneak him from the back, but he weaves, jumps on top of it, and starts running for dear life. And he manages to escape, and off rip, this man just landed on the planet, and he is already getting folded by trees. But after that, he continues and even starts to patch himself up. But while he was doing that, he sees a small little bug, picks it up, and this thing starts to swell, and he throws it away and it explodes. So we can already tell that's gonna be important later. But he keeps walking and he eventually ends up in this field of, I don't know what the plants are called, but just take a look at them and they really look dangerous. And whenever he gets close to one, they start to swell up and make a rattle noise. But while he was doing that, this robot starts talking to him, trying to tell him of the danger that lies ahead. And this thing comes out of nowhere, picks something up and throws it towards his direction, causing these things to shoot their thorns. And the robot tells him that this thing is trying to paralyze him and eat him while he can't move. So with that, he tries to maneuver his way past the plants. But she tells him that she's able to help him if he lets her free. But that thing comes again, throwing something down, causing these plants to activate again. And this man gets so enraged, he starts to run. But unfortunately, it did not last long, and this man gets struck right in his neck, causing him to fall to his knees when the Lord came. And with his last bit of strength, he throws his weapon right towards her, and she breaks free and tackles that thing right to the ground just before it was about to eat my boy. And she cooks up an antidote, causing my boy to wake up, saving his life. And when he lifts her up, we see that she does not have her legs. And she proposes a plan that she leads my boy over to the callisk, which she knows where is because she managed to survive it. That's why she doesn't have her legs. And in return, she gets her legs back. And he does end up agreeing and takes her along. And when nighttime hits, they end up sharing some things about each other. Like, her name is Thea, and she has a quote-unquote sister called Tessa. And they've been doing research on this planet for a very long time. And even says that the callisk attacked them, causing them to separate from one another. But she still believes that Tessa is alive, and we transition over to Tessa, looking all types of charms. But she gets put in this thing and it starts to go through her memories and checking the mission status, which the mission is to capture the callisk, with her even getting repaired. And she gets told that because of the fact she failed the mission once, if she fails the mission again, she will be killed. But we cut back over to Dick and Thea hunting for this ginormous looking bison. And just when he was about to enter the grass, he gets cut and realizes this is some pretty sharp grass right here. And just when he was about to throw his weapon, this little thing comes out of nowhere looking like a whole monkey, and he jumps into the grass, causing the bison to run away. But Dick was not finna let that slide and is out here swinging between the trees, jumps on top of one of them but gets knocked down by a tree and starts tussling back and forth with this little thing. But while he was holding it, one of the bison starts charging right towards him, but he throws his weapon, cuts that thing right in half. But while bro was celebrating, he gets dragged by his feet by this dog. What the fuck is that? And just when this thing was about to eat them whole, this little nigga curls right into a ball, getting right into its mouth, causing its teeth to break, letting them go, but they start to run. But even with that said, Deck was not finna let the disrespect slide and even ended up killing this thing. And they later on even started to feast on its remains.
Every day they clocking me, red alert on the day.
And while they were eating, he gives this little thing a piece of his meat, and this thing spits on him, marking him as his own, or a part of its clan in a way. But fast forward some time and they manage to get to where the callisk is supposed to be and where her legs are also supposed to be. And they do manage to find her legs and she starts to assemble herself together. And this is where we learn the sad, horrible, horrific, unbelievable truth. And yes, I'm being hella dramatic, it's not that crazy, but the truth is that Thea and Tessa actually came here for the callisk, and they are the ones that also want to capture it because of its regeneration abilities. And she tells Deck that he needs to get the hell up out of here because they are not finna spare him. But obviously he's not gonna do that because he came here for the callisk to honor his brother, and that's what he's finna do. Going outside and causes an entire explosion just to get this thing's attention, and in 2.5 seconds this thing comes out of nowhere just looking menacing, and Deck starts it off by yelling at this thing right in its face. Yeah, at this point, bruh, just bend me over, bro. And the cameraman really had to look away because when we pan back over to my boy, he is flying across the screen and his only weapon is already broken. Like, dog, it's been 4 effing seconds. How are you already losing? And he grabs a random door trying to use it as a shield, but this thing grabs it and yeets it away. But he throws a bomb right in its face and cuts its tail right in half.
That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT!
Yeah, like I said before, bro. And this thing grabs him, yeeting him away right towards her just before she was finally about to get her legs back. And my boy Deck started to get pressed. Look at him running. He has never moved this acrobatically in his life. And Thea comes in clutch, shooting at this thing, causing a distraction. And this man grabs this crane, hooks it right into its mouth, causing this thing to pull it, and manages to trap its tail. And he starts running on top of its body, jumps up and cuts this thing's head clean off. And just when I was about to celebrate with bro, yeah, like I said before, again, just bend me over, gang. And it presses him right towards the ground, and just when it was about to eat him, it stops and starts to sniff this dude, and a ball starts to roll in looking oddly familiar and starts to freeze both of them. And I'ma just explain the plot in the shortest form possible so we can move on to the good stuff. You cool with that? Good. So Deck wakes up captured. Tessa wants to extract him. Thea does not agree with that. Thea stops Tessa from hurting him. Tessa is now emotionless and doesn't care. Thea gets betrayed by Tessa, so Thea releases Deck. Deck ends up escaping. Deck prepares to rescue Thea, bumps into this little dude again, and learns that this is the child of the callisk. So he partners up with baby callisk and he partners up with Thea's legs. Yes, and they all start to infiltrate the base and start going crazy, taking them each out one by one while her legs are trying to find Thea. Her legs ends up rescuing herself, and now they team up. And now they're going to try to rescue the mother callisk. But unfortunately, Tessa does find out what they're trying to do, and I know that Deck is that dude. He's that nigga for real. But you mean to tell me y'all needed more than 100 niggas just for him alone? And I guess they did, because he does manage to kill all of them off. But Tessa arrives and brings this ginormous robot. Like, bro. And my boy Deck is trying his absolute hardest trying to fight this thing, but obviously it's not a fair fight. So to fight her back, they end up releasing the callisk and they start fighting each other, with her trying to cut this thing in half while pushing it back. But Deck ends up cutting some wires, causing this thing to malfunction and stop. And she tries to throw another ice bomb at this thing, trying to finish the fight, but Deck throws a spear, saving the callisk. And with that, it started to go crazy, ripping its arm apart and start spreading this thing open like, I don't even want to say like what, but yeah, you know what I was about to say. And it ends up eating her. But unfortunately, it was not the end, because this thing starts to freeze up and break into pieces, with Tessa emerging from the smoke. And she really thought she was about to get away with killing the callisk and start yapping. Like, bruh, if you don't shut your lame man up. Stabbed her right in the throat, got her falling to her knees when Dead came.
Link, can we take it slow? I be running out the back by the time they at the door. How you go behind my back? You supposed to be my bro. Fucked you this last night, but that's why I didn't know. Throw it on my name, they ain't know that I would grow. Take a trip to get the drugs, every time it's for the low. Says she wants some new shoes, sweater, so she care about. Brody wrote away.